somebody for the 7 a.m. also in the 9:15 and do something a little differently. So you can take your mat and move it to a wall so that the head of your mat, as if these back rows slid straight back. So this wall is fair game and this wall is fair game. Just slide your mat back so it touches the wall. Keep your block or blocks nearby, and there are more blocks up here so that if you need one, oh, there are some princesses outside. Keep your block nearby. We might like to have that at some point. And then Christy and Chris, you guys can just get a mat too. Yeah. Perfect. This will be a surprise. We don't do this every day for people who are brand new in the studio today, but it'll be fun. Okay, some of you know what we're doing. All right, we have everything we need. Mats are against the walls. Everybody's got a steady wall. Gabby, go right up against the wall there. Chris and Christy, there are 2 spots right here to fit in. So we're doing the same thing we're always doing. We're just adding a prop today. The prop is the wall, and it'll teach you so much about your own practice. So start like we always do in child's pose. Toes together, knees open. Don't worry about the wall quite yet. You'll get to know it very well in just a second. I think right in there feels like a good fit. Let's begin in child's pose. So make your pose, customize it to exactly your own needs in your practice today. Knees really wide, knees more close together. Set it up the way that it's really good for your body. And put your head on the ground and your arms on the ground and take a deep breath in. Then exhale through your mouth and let the weight of your whole body just sink into the floor. Surrender to the floor. Create a slow, steady, deep, rhythmic breath. With your next inhale, you'll lift into downward facing dog and you'll position your heels so they are probably right around the top edge of the baseboard that you can see. So your heel presses down into the top edge, and take a look then back at your feet. Make sure that your feet are parallel to one another. So you can explore, does it feel best to have your heels on the ground or your heels on the baseboard? But make sure your feet are touching. So you may need to back up your hands to get yourself into position. Organize your feet, parallel to one another and hip width distance. Then soften your knees if need be, but stretch your sitting bones up and back as though your bum was going to sit on the wall behind you. Push your hands down into the ground, especially the knuckle of your pointer finger, and create some breathing here. As you're breathing, you can fine-tune the foundation of your pose, your hands and your feet. Parallel with your feet. So some of you, heels opening just a little bit wider. Maybe it's one heel and not the other that could stand to open wider. Now very carefully, lift up your right foot with your knee bent. Lift your knee up and your foot up until your heel is at your hips and you can turn your hips open to your right. That's it. Use your foot that's on the ground touching the wall to press in and anchor you in the back. And then your hands in the front to press in and anchor. Lift your right knee up as high as you can, like it's reaching for the wall that's behind you. And allow your right side body to open up like it's yawning. Each rib is opening from the last. Activate your toes, light up your toes, make your foot come alive. Gently return your foot to the floor so that you don't bang your foot and your knee on the wall behind you. Anchor your right foot down to the ground and onto the wall. Then raise your left leg up into the air. Bend your knee, bring your heel to your hip and turn your hips open. So with your hands pushing down into your mat, down into the ground beneath your mat, opposite, rise up with your knee toward the wall behind you. Each move that you make, do it to the rhythm of your breath, slow, steady, rhythmic breath. Then lower your left leg down to the ground, put your feet flat on the floor just in front of the wall and walk your hands back towards your feet. So maybe your heel's about 3-4 inches away from the wall. Sit your tush on the wall. Make your feet parallel to one another and soften your knees. So your knees are a little bit bent. Butt on the wall, pretty straight legs, knees a little bit bent. Anchor your tailbone to the wall. Now let's give you 8 breaths to come rolling up to standing. So you let your head hang down, start pulling your belly button up, and bring your attention to your back body. Anchor your spine one bone at a time on the wall. There'll come a moment when you have to consciously choose to let your tailbone reach down. So 8 breaths, you should feel the back of your pelvis touch the wall, drag your tailbone down, pull your belly in, more belly, less head. Your head comes last, each bone touching the wall before your head ever touches the wall. Then arms to your side, press just gently against the wall so you come off of the wall and you're standing on your feet. Your feet won't need to move. Stand on your feet. Inhale and sweep your arms overhead and stretch up. Exhale and bring your hands into prayer position and pause. Set an intention for your practice today. Set your gaze on one point at the front of the room. And 3 times we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Put your hands back, lean your hips back to the wall, pause, experience the back of your pelvis is touching, your shoulder blades are touching, and your bottom ribs are touching. Then inhale and sweep your arms overhead, drop your chin down, and start pulling yourself off the wall one bone at a time. So when your shoulders come off, your bottom ribs should still be touching. Drop your head. Peel your bones off one at a time. Keep your ribs pulling back as your upper body comes off of the wall. Pull your belly back as your ribs start to come off, and lower down slowly one bone at a time until your hands can come to the ground. Then walk your hands forward, come to a high push-up position with your feet pressing against the wall behind you. So you'll need to snuggle back against the wall, high plank. Peek down your belly, back at your feet, so you'll want the balls of your feet on the ground and your heels on the wall, up high. And even move your feet back a bit so you can get more of the sole of your foot on the wall. High plank, so come out to a high plank, feet up high on the wall. There you go, like that for both of them. High plank position, keep your feet pressing back, go to a low plank. If you need to put your knees on the ground, that's perfectly fine. With your feet still pressing back, upward facing dog. So work yourself back so your feet press the wall in the upward facing dog. It's a modification. And experience how strong your legs need to be for a back bend. You can keep your knees soft. Then downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Press your heels deep into the ground. Just stretch your sitting bones up and back. Deep breath in and exhale. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale and empty your breath. Now walk your hands back toward your feet and put your feet flat on the ground. About 3 or 4 inches in front of the wall. Come rolling all the way up the wall to standing and sweep your arms overhead. If you feel like you can't quite get up, your feet need to be a little further away. Arms overhead, reach up, look up, and then roll back down, all the way down. Pulling your body off the mat wall one bone at a time. Hands to the ground, walk out into a high plank position. Press your feet into the wall. Use the wall as a tool to keep your legs strong, low plank. Upward facing dog, feet still pressing into the wall. A little differently than you'll do it just free on the floor. Downward facing dog. Line your feet up parallel. Press your heels into the ground. 2 more breaths. Broad, flat hands. 1 more breath. Exhale, then walk your hands back, flatten your feet on the ground 3 inches away, put your tush on the wall, come rolling all the way up, hips on the wall. 1 bone at a time, pull your belly in. Yes, that's it, Adam. Then arms overhead, reach up, drop your chin, roll down, all the way down. That's it, Roxy, pull your ribs in. Yep, you can soften your knees if it helps. Hands out into the high planks. Just a modified sun salute A. Feet, press them back into the wall. Keep the balls of your feet powerful on the floor, low plank. Upward facing dog. Press your feet back. Try an upward dog that way. Downward facing dog. You've got 3 breaths here. Deep breath in. So play with the new tool that you have today. Another breath. Make your feet parallel. The wall's going to start showing you where you use your body not quite in alignment. After the last breath, walk your hands back, feet forward of the wall, soften your knees, roll all the way up. Articulate. 1, pull your belly in. Don't let your body come up as a hinge where only your butt is touching the wall. It's rolling, each bone touching. Arms up. Drop your chin, head down, and start to roll. Keep pulling your ribs back so they touch the wall as long as possible. Go ahead and keep going down, 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 all the way down to the ground. Walk forward, high plank. Press your feet. Keep them pressing even for the upward dog. Low plank. Feet press, press, press. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. 1 more time here. Inhale. Exhale. Empty your breath. Feet flat on the ground. Walk your hands back. This time, bring your feet forward about 6 inches. Chair pose comes next. Squat back. Reach your arms forward. So squat so that you don't quite touch the wall. Then squat a little bit further, so it's really the reach of your arms that's going to keep you from falling. Breathe here. Make your feet parallel to one another and keep your knees just off of each other. 3 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Just barely touching. Maybe just pull yourself off. 1 more breath in. Look up and reach. Pull yourself off of the wall. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Pause right here. Reach your sitting bones back so they press into the wall. You might need to soften your knees a little bit more. Stretch the crown of your head to the wall across the room from you. Wrap your shoulder blades to your spine. Breathe right here. Put your hands on your belly and your ribs and just gently encourage them up into your body and strong. Last breath. Fold to the floor. Walk your hands out, high push-up. Feet into the wall. Press them back. Low push-up. Use the strength of your feet and your legs, your foundation, to make this easy. Upward facing dog. Yes, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward for warrior 1. Turn your back foot flat so it presses against the edge of the wall. Be sure that you haven't crisscrossed your front foot over top of your back or vice versa. Keep your legs open so like they're on train tracks. They each have their own track, and then lunge down. Work your hips toward the front of the room by using the strength of the pressure of your back foot against the wall. So attempting at first is to be open. Start working your hips towards square, and then go down, deepen your lunge. Use your back leg. The unconscious side of your body, wake it up. With your back leg strong, reach your arms overhead. Deepen your lunge. Now reach up out of your legs so your legs stay deep, but you lift out of your legs and reach for the wall behind you. Deepen your lunge to take a deeper back bend. Strong legs build you toward a big back bend. You might touch the wall, you might see the wall. Then bring your chest up out of the back bend, hands to the floor, high plank to low plank. Feet press back and you can lower. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side, step forward, warrior 1. Anchor your back foot and move it to the right so that your feet are not on one line. Deep lunge, arms overhead, breathe right here. Suck your left thigh bone back into your pelvis, lunge way down. Deepen your legs, and then reach up out of your legs and back. There you go. Yes, stretch back as far as it is right for your body. In a back bend, no sensation in your low back. If you're feeling it in your low back, pull your belly in. Now come up out of the back bend, hands to the floor, high plank to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. You've got 3 breaths. Feet parallel to one another. Be rigorous in your alignment. Then you may discover when you make your feet parallel, your knees start to drop toward one another. Keep your knees as wide apart as hip width distance. Put your awareness in the balls of your feet and be aware of, do you hold all the weight in your baby toe side, your big toe side? Make it even across the 2 sides of your foot. One more deep breath in. Exhale, empty your breath. Walk your hands back to your feet flat on the floor, squat back, chair pose. So your feet come away so you can barely reach the ground. Reach your arms up, stretch, just pull your hips off of the wall, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, sitting bones back into the wall. Hands to the ground, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Press, make your legs strong. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior 1. Step your right foot forward, turn your back foot flat. Anchor your back leg into the ground. Arms up and overhead, reach up and back. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. High push up to low. Upward facing dog. Feet back, press them back. Use the wall. Downward facing dog. Might mean that your hands have to shuffle back after the push-up. Left side. Warrior 1. Back foot, anchor it. Deep, deep lunge. Be aware now of the propensity to press your thigh bones out. Instead, pull them in so that your hips turn square. Can you do that? Just suck your thigh bones into your midline. Now reach up and back. Big lunge. Take a deep lunge. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Feet on the wall. Feet on the wall, press. Use the leverage. Upward facing dog, press the wall. All back bends come from strong legs, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Knees, Chris. Deep breath in and exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, empty your breath. Walk your hands back for chair pose. Feet away from the wall. Squat so that you have to drop into the wall. Then reach your arms up and just pull yourself away. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Sitting bones press into the ground. Your chest moves forward. High plank to low. Press your feet back. Upward facing dog. Use your strong feet, your strong legs. Downward facing dog. Right side crescent lunge. So you'll leave the ball of your back foot on the ground, the sole of your foot on the wall, and your heel on the wall. Lunge. Arms overhead. In your back foot, take your attention to the ball of your foot. Move your back heel a little bit more to the left so you experience some pressure also in the ball of your baby toe. Now push your heel back and activate your back leg lunge deeply. Make your back leg powerful. From your deepest lunge, pull yourself up out of your legs and reach for the wall behind. Deep lunge, strong back leg. Imagine someone's pressing on your hamstring. You are pressing your back leg up and into the wall. Reach up and back. Your limit is when you touch your back heel, hands to prayer position, look forward. Keep pressing your back leg, twist. Left elbow, right knee. Anchor your elbow to your knee. Press into the wall. Use your back leg pressing to make your hips a bit lighter. You can open your arms, reach your bottom arm to the floor and your top arm to the ceiling. Now wrap your top arm around behind your back. If you'd like to fully bind the pose, you're welcome to that or stay with the half bind. We'll take 3 more breaths here. When you inhale, press hard with your back heel and lift your chest a little bit higher. When you exhale, turn a little more. We'll take 1 more breath. Exhale, stay. Now inhale, spin around to warrior 2. With warrior 2, press the back edge of your foot into the ground, into the wall. Point your other foot, toes and knees across the room and lunge. Put your back palm against the wall and press it into the wall so that your hips, ribs, and shoulders all face the side of the mat. lunge. Both arms out, lunge down. Pressing into the back wall to keep your torso facing the side of the room. That's it. Now the work of warrior two. Pull the pit of your belly up and let your tail drop down. Extended side angle, you can put your right hand on the block at the arch of your front foot or the floor. Straighten your right arm. Keep your back foot pressing. Left arm in the air. There you go. Push with your back foot into the wall, really strong, and then, so you have outward pressing happening, then lighten the load of your foot by sucking it in. Can you experience the difference between pushing out and hugging in? One more breath, reach up and look, lighten the load of your fingertips on the ground, reach up really high, hands to the floor, feet to the wall, chaturanga. Press your feet back, use your feet for upward dog, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward to crescent lunge. Keep your back foot anchored. In your crescent lunge, maybe for just a breath, suck both of your thigh bones in. Often they're moving out, suck them in. Then arms overhead. Attention in your back foot. Shift some weight to your back foot's baby toe by moving your heel more to the right. A little bit more to the right with your heel, yes. And push back. Lunge down with your front knee. Yes, that's it. Deep legs. Now pull yourself up out of your legs and back. Up out of your legs and back. Keep pulling your left thigh bone back and your right thigh bone forward. Then the pit of your belly up. Last breath here. Reach for the wall, chest very high. Freedom for your lower back. Then hands to prayer position and pause. Twist to the left. Right elbow, left knee. I can find a lot of times that I'm hanging down low in my hips and my belly is on my front thigh. Use your back leg to press back. You can open the width of your feet. If you feel a little bit like you're on a tightrope, open the width of your feet, move your back foot more to the right, your whole foot. Open your arms. Bottom arm down, top arm up. You've got it. Really stretch your arms apart. You can wrap your top arm behind your back. You can keep it in the air if that's best for you. You can fully bind the pose if that works. Take another breath here together with the inhale, heel back, head across the room. Exhale, chest toward the ceiling. Then when you inhale, spin around to warrior two. Push your foot into the wall and lunge down. Back edge of your back foot, push it into the wall. A nice long stance. Make your step a little longer. Bring your foot out to the end of your mat. A couple more inches. Yes. Turn your hips to face the side of your mat. Press your arm back. Breathe, bring your right hip down into the pose. There you go. That's it. Oh. Extended side angle, fingertips to the floor or a block at your arch. Opposite arm in the air to the ceiling. Now stretch your arms in two different directions. Breathe right there. Powerful back leg. Push the edge, the blade edge of your foot into the crease between the wall and the floor. Lunge down. Bend your knee a lot, and when you need a break, straighten it. Stay down as long and as low, and then your arm, it can pull up. Last breath here. Reach so much with your top arm that the weight on your bottom hand gets lighter, barely touching. Then hands to the floor. Much control as your feet press back into the wall, chaturanga. Feet strong and connected to the wall, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in and exhale. Breathe in and exhale. One more breath here. Breathe in. Exhale and empty the breath. Then walk your hands back for chair pose. Feet away from the wall. If you find that you're so close to the wall that you have a pretty comfortable seat, it's really easy. Walk your feet a little more forward. In fact, probably they are about heels beneath your knees. And then reach and pull yourself just off of the wall and keep a really deep seat. Then hands to prayer position, twist toward the right. Left arm between your knees, right arm in the air. Squat down a lot. Chris, come away from the wall a little more. Some of you, well, just a few of you, walk back just enough that you can barely feel your sitting bones. So you go back about 2 inches, Christy. Back so you can barely feel your sitting bones on the wall. You may need to take your feet back just a tiny bit, but both of your cheeks, they should equally press into the wall. You may find that one starts to come off of the wall. Your left cheek, keep it on the wall. And now wrap your top arm behind your back. Both of your knees equally bending. Make your feet parallel to one another. There you go. That's it. So twist your shoulder open. You can reach between your knees and bind your hands outside of your left hip. And your bind needs to be outside of your hip, so not between your cheeks and the wall. Yep, that's it. If you take the full bind. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Keep a deep squat. Keep lifting your chest up and away from the wall. Both cheeks pressing back. The way to find more distance in this is ease, letting go, softening, unwind and hang down. Hang down. You'll need to walk your feet back a little closer to the wall so that they're about 3 or 4 inches, your heels away from the wall. Forward fold. Hook your big toes with your middle and index fingers. Pause. Identify your sitting bones on the wall. Allow your sitting bones to become more broad. As you push your heels down into the ground, pay attention to your sitting bones lifting up the wall, chest to your toes. Heels down, hips up higher. Keep a softening to the backs of your knees. Release your toes. Put your fingertips on the ground underneath of your shoulders so that your weight comes into your fingertips and feet somewhat evenly. Then raise your right foot to the side. Lift your right foot as high as you're able to. The wall now will be there behind you to keep your foot in alignment. So you want to keep it to the side. Lift your foot up to the side as high as you're able to. And just breathe. Take 3 breaths here. Foot a little bit higher. Keep your sitting bones on the wall. Heel of your standing foot pressing down. And then foot to the floor. It's a little humbling. It's different than in the middle of the room. Yeah. Sitting bones on the wall. Other foot up. Left foot up. Activate your flexed foot so your foot is alive. Fingers on the ground. And then in your standing foot, heel down, sitting bones up high. Really powerful standing leg. Lifting foot, take it up as high as you're able to. Might not be very high with the wall behind you. And then foot on the floor and shake your legs out. Oh my goodness, you didn't like that one, huh? Ready for chair pose? Squat back, reach your arms up into chair pose. Hips back, just barely touching. Hands to prayer position, twist to the left. Right elbow, left knee, or between your knees. Both sitting bones on the wall, and pay really close attention to what they're doing. They both take even weight. Then open your arms, maybe one arm between your knees, other arm to the ceiling. Check out your sitting bones again. Both sitting bones on the wall, wrap your top arm around behind your back. Reach between your knees and hold hands outside of your right hip. Use a strap to cover the distance or stay in the half bind. Squat way down, both sitting bones evenly pressing into the wall. Keep opening your body up, long on the belly side of your spine. One more breath. Okay, fold and hang down. Just a couple of inches away with your heels, just 3 maybe. Stand on your palms. So open your feet parallel and hip-width distance. Slide your hands under your feet so you're palm to sole. Stand on your hands. Heels down, tail high. Your sitting bones high. And breathe here. Bring a lot of fire into your legs. Activate your legs. Wake them up. And then a lot of like flow or water down your spine. So your spine like a waterfall flowing. Release your hands. Keep your hips wide, come rolling up this to standing. So soft knees. See if you can do it. Pause when you feel your hips are really on the wall. Don't raise your shoulders or head anymore, but pull your belly back and get the back bottom part of your spine on the wall before you even think to raise your head. More belly, Christy, right there. More belly. Freeze, tail down, belly in, and make your, yes. All the way up, arms overhead. Now for the crowd favorite in the last class. You ready? You might never come back, right? Right arm under, make eagle arms. Slide your back down the wall. Make sure the back of your pelvis is touching the wall and the back of your shoulders are touching the wall. So just retract your arm bones back. You can wrap your legs for eagle pose. Right leg around your left leg. Still hips on the wall. Still shoulders on the wall, your scapula. And if your foot's too close, pull it away. Like if you feel like it's just not quite happening, move your foot away. Bend your standing knee. Hips on the wall, shoulders on the wall. Ready for the good part? Pull your bottom ribs onto the wall. So like, yeah, it's tricky there. So it's your scapula. Uh-oh. It's your scapula. It's the back of your hips. You can make a deeper crease here and let your tail get to the wall. Yeah, keep that. Now, oh, that part. Breathe right there. It's a whole brand new world in eagle pose. Ready? Step out. Arms overhead and stretch. Take a breather as you stretch. Okay, the left side. Left arm under. Squat. Now your hips are on the wall. Bring your shoulders back to the wall. Wrap your leg. Slide down the wall as you squat. The back, whole pack crest of your hips on the wall. The chunky center, your sacrum, on the wall. Pull your arm bones deep into your body. Get your scapula, your shoulder blades on the wall. Then the hard part. Now your ribs from the front. Just suck them in. Uh-oh. There you go. Suck them in. Keep your tailbone too on the wall. Shoulders on the wall. Breathe. Pull your ribs back. Take all of your concentration to experiencing the back of your body touching the wall. Take your concentration out of your legs. One more breath. Step out, arms overhead. Ah, stretch. Shake your legs out. Shake your legs out. Lean against the wall. Walk back and get your your heels will probably need to be about 4 inches away from the wall. Line them up parallel to one another. Hug your right knee into your chest. Keep your right hip, the back of it, against the wall. So a lot of times when we take this on the open floor, people are leaning back, finding the leverage that way, and your standing foot is turned out. So it's good. Standing feet look great. Heel behind your middle toe. Hug your right knee with your hands into your body, and you just pull your thigh bone back. Concentrate. So experience pushing your knee out and your hip coming off the wall a little bit, and then pull your thigh back. You do that? Thigh bone out of your body, thigh bone into your body. Keep it on the into your body space. You can open your leg to the right and then your left arm up in a cactus arm, pressing against the wall. Both hips against the wall as you open your leg. Just breathe right there. Look to your bent arm. Soften your standing knee. Shoulders down your back. Easy. For a moment, bring your attention to the insides of your shoulders near your neck and just let them get soft. Okay, switch hands on your knee. Switch cactus arms on the wall. So now your right arm becomes the cactus arm. Your left hand is on your knee. For a moment, press your right thigh bone out of your body so your right hip comes off, and then suck it back in. Turn and look over to your bent elbow. Breathe right there. Turn forward. Both cactus arms on the wall. Both hips on the wall. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, push your heel forward and think to pull your hip back. Bend your knee and stand really tall. Inhale. As you exhale, heel forward. Bend your knee, inhale. Exhale, heel forward. Lower your foot to the ground and just shake out your legs. Shake out your arms. Other side. 2 feet parallel to one another. Start from the bottom. Hug your left knee in. Double check your standing foot. Sometimes it sneaks to your toes turning out. Mine likes to sneak to that position really quickly. It will do that. Thigh bone forward away from you and your hip comes off the wall, and then suck it back in so you feel 2 of your hips resting on the wall. Soften your standing knee. Open your left knee to the left and bring your right cactus arm up. 2 hips still on the wall. Breathe right here. So if you were ever feeling dizzy in a packed class where your mats are in the center of the floor, you see you can do this whole balancing section lying on your back, and it's still really effective. Pull your ribs into the wall. If you find your shoulders and your hips are on the wall, but still you could just drive right underneath your hips or your ribs. Just keep pulling them in. It's tricky. Okay, knee forward, switch hands. Switch cactus arms. A moment to be in choice about how you're holding your hips, both of them back against the wall. Look over to your bent arm, your cactus arm. There you go. Yep. Just keep your hips back. Yes, that's it. Breathe. Come forward. Look forward. 2 cactus arms up. Hips back. Shoulder blades back. Bottom ribs back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, push your heel forward. Keep pulling your thigh bone back into your body. Bend your knee, inhale. Exhale, push your heel forward. Bend your knee, inhale. Exhale, push your heel forward. Ribs in, ribs in, ribs in. Pull them against the wall. I can drive a truck through there. Adam, bend your knee. Stretch your toes forward. Okay, foot on the floor and shake your hips out. It's a lot harder with the wall, isn't it? Just shake it out. Shake them out. We can stay there and we'll take, let's do this. Turn around, face the wall. Give yourself about an arm's distance with your palm on the wall. Let's start fingertips on the wall. As you go into the pose, your palms will come. So an arm's distance with your left fingertips on the wall. Stand square to the wall. So you'll need your feet to be way back, arm's distance, probably a tiny bit further. Bend your right knee. Roll your right shoulder back for standing bow pose. Hold the bottom of your shin and flex your ankle. So hold your shin with your palm facing out, your shoulder rolling back. You had it. That's it, Carol. Flex your foot so your foot can be full of information. Let your 2 knees just drop together before you begin so the front of your right quad stretches. Now start to kick your right foot up and back. You can use the wall in front of you. You may determine that you need to hop back a little bit further. You can use the wall in front of you. Maybe your arm will go up even higher. And now concentrate on your feet. 1 foot pressing down. Unlock your standing knee. 1 foot pressing up. 2 straight arm, or your back arm at least straight. Let me have that. Yeah, keep it back here. Straight. Flex. Push up. There you go. 3 more breaths. Work your hips towards square. Imagine your body, your lower body, is working like it works in Warrior 1. Kick up and back. There you go. Stretch your shoulder. Okay, come out and switch sides. So now you know if it might be better for you to be back a little further, in a little bit closer. Fingertips of your right hand on the wall. Bend your left knee. Hold your ankle from the inside with your palm facing out. I'm going to spin you around. See how your shoulder stretches back? Knees together at first. Knees together. Let the front of your left quad stretch. Now flex your left foot and imagine it's pressing into the ceiling. Kick up and back. So your hand on the wall is doing a little bit of work for you, but it's not bearing all of your weight. Put your weight in your legs. One leg pressing up, one leg pressing down. I'm going to spin your hand around for a second. There you go. See how your shoulder pulls back now? Now kick, like your foot is kicking into the ceiling. Press into my hand, press up, up. Keep pressing and let your shoulders pull apart. Okay, step out of that. Turn around, back against the wall. We'll take tree pose. 2 hips against the wall. Your standing foot will probably need to be about 4 inches away. Sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh for tree pose. Hands to prayer position. Yep, standing foot, heel behind your middle toe instead of turned out. You can soften your knee. Soften your standing knee so that your muscles kick into working instead of just locking. That's it, hands to prayer position. Shoulders back, pull your ribs in. And notice how with your hips square against the wall, your knee is not flat against the wall. It's out a little bit, and that will show you your positioning for warrior 2. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, and reach your arms overhead. Pull your ribs in. They're going to get tricky here with your arms overhead. That's when tightness in your shoulders starts to show up. 1 foot down, hands and eyes up. That's it. Stretch your arms out and down, and switch your legs. Right foot down, left foot up. Tail down, just drop, so it's not tucked, but it's just dropping down in a neutral way. Your pelvis on the wall, your ribs on the wall, your shoulder blades on the wall, hands to prayer. Just breathe right there. Unlock your standing knees. Just gonna tell your tailbone to go down and your belly to come up and in. Now your ribs can come back. Interlace your fingers. Arms overhead. Press down with your standing foot. Reach up with your gaze and with your arms, look up. And then step out and down, 2 feet on the floor. Broad back of your pelvis against the wall. Wide in the back of your hips. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, look up and reach. Drop your chin and roll down to the floor. 1 bone at a time. So pull your ribs back until you can't pull them back anymore, all the way down. Come out into a high plank position. Feet on the wall, high push-up position. Press into the wall, low push-up position. Press your feet back as you lower. Upward facing dog. That's it. Press your feet. Make your feet strong. Let them teach you about the possibility of your back bend. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward for warrior 1. Long stance, big back bend. Reach up out of your legs. Reach for the wall behind you. Deep lunge. Bend your knee, Christy. Thigh bones pull into your body. Reach up and back. Turn to warrior 2. At first, your back palm flat on the ground or the wall. Back foot pressing, warrior 2. Now reverse the warrior. Keep the arm pressing, then just reach up and over. Up and over. Make your right side body long. Keep your lunge deep. Bend your knee, Chris. Keep your lunge deep. Keep your left side body long. Triangle pose. Straighten your front leg. Come up and out of your back or your side bend. Back edge of your back foot. Let it press. Bring your right hand to the block or floor behind your right ankle. Right behind your right ankle. Behind. So hand on the back side. That's it. A block can be a handy landing spot. You can experience first the push out of your back foot into the back wall, and then the pull in. Your tailbone. Make the crease of your right hip so deep that your tailbone can reach for the wall behind you. Now move your right hand 6 inches more behind you, toward the person behind you. Then look up to the ceiling, reach up to your left fingertips, and move your fingertips to the shoulder of the person behind you. Drop your head back. So a long side stretch, now a back bend with it. So be bold. I always thought this seemed awkward at first and I didn't know where to go. Just move your block 6 inches back. Yes, to a person behind you. Put your hand on it. And then what it takes as we get later and later into the practice is more and more ease. Drop your head back. Take a chance. I won't drop you. Face soft, skin soft. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Feet press, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Press your foot back, reach your arms up. Big lunge, reach up and back. Warrior one. Turn to warrior two. Flat palm, hips, ribs, chest, shoulders, all facing the side of your mat. Even give room for a little more length here. Come out to right about here with these toes. There you go. Lunge down, that's it. Backhand, press it. Turn your ribs to the side. Deep lunge. Pull the pit of your belly up and drop your tail down. For now, point your toes where your knee wants to go. Yeah. Stay down low in your lunge, deep into your lunge, hand pressing. Both sides of your waist long. Reach your front arm up and back. Deep lunge, deep lunge. Both sides of your body stretch. Keep your right side body long. Now straighten your front leg, stretch up and back, triangle pose. Fingertips across the room. Then onto the block or floor behind you. Keep your back foot anchored against the wall. Feel free to open the length of your stride at the bottom of this pose. You can put your hand on the block or floor behind. I'll put this back here in case you want to use it. Just let the side of your body soften. Your front inner thigh soften. You can really press your front foot's big toe down. Now move your hand that's on the floor, your left hand, behind you, 6 more inches. So if you have a block, just take it off of your mat behind you. And then start to open. There you go. Let your whole body open. Press your big toe down. Soften. Strong belly, lots of control. Chaturanga, 2 hands on the ground. High push-up to low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe here. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in and out. One more. Come to a high push-up position and lower all the way down to your belly. If you've got a block, put the block between your feet. I'm going to borrow one of yours really quick, Michelle. Put the block between your feet so that your feet, your arches, are holding onto the block. And then your legs are behind you, against the wall, pressing into the wall, and they can be up now, not at the floor, but whoa, it's a little tricky. Probably your best bet is to put the block here at the wall, hug it, like tweezers squeezing something, and then lift your feet up and slide into the wall. And nestle your feet strong legs. They don't have to lift very high. You want to be sure your big toes are really squeezing, and I'll come around and help manipulate the blocks. And then long body airplane, like locust pose on the floor. That's it. The goal is the block is useful so that your feet stay parallel to one another. Tricky. The block is just totally throwing you off. You can put it even between your ankles. But ideally, with the block there, you're unable to let your heels drop in and your toes go wide. Feet just straight up and down. You've got some pretty good work with the blocks. Some of you could have slid back so your feet could be flat on the wall. Go back at them. There you go. And when you get up into locust pose, pull your belly into your body instead of letting it press into the ground. Make your waist very long. If the block just makes it tricky, try it without the block. Arms wide, chest long. So you think feet back, chest in the opposite direction, abdominal muscles pulling in. And come back down, rest for a second. You can let your feet come down and rest. Let's take one more back bend here on the floor. Same thing, locust pose. You can raise your arms behind you. You could leave them like a big W with your fingertips on the ground. Anchor your feet to the wall. That's the key part. Ideally, your feet are parallel, and so that means your heels are likely open wider than you normally would have them. Can you scoot back here just a little? There. That's perfect. Good. Press your heel. I'm going to take the block. Press your heel. There you go, Adam. Right there. Yes. Arms wide. You're setting yourself up for powerful back bending legs. Toes in, heels wide. Tricky. There you go. It changes the way the whole back of your pelvis works. It changes which muscles are working. And come back down. Okay. Come to an upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, walk your hands in toward your feet. Put your feet flat on the ground and come rolling up to standing. We're going to do a few things standing here. The other crowd favorite from the last class. Measure fingertip distance from the wall and turn around away from the wall. It doesn't have to be a perfect measurement. You'll have another chance to make minor adjustments. So that's the gross measurement. Face away from the wall. Put your hands on the ground. Your standing foot will be your left foot. Make it parallel. You can even step off of your mat and use one of the stripes on the floor. Then lift your right leg up behind you and look back there. The leg should not be turning out to the side. It should point straight down with your hips very square. You'll want to soften your standing knee. Adjust your standing foot's positioning so both of your feet are really strong. Foot pointing straight down to the ground, hips square. Foot points straight down, hips square. You might want to move your foot more toward your hands so both feet feel powerful. Your standing ankle underneath of your standing hip. So drop your right hip down, Andrea. Down. There you go. Are you ready? You're just set up. You're not doing the pose yet. I know. Ready? What comes next? No hands. Arms like airplane wings. This is airplane pose. You might need to adjust your standing foot a little bit. It might need to come forward toward your hands some. Both legs stay straight. So jump your foot toward your hands. If you don't believe both legs can stay straight, good, Carol, now straighten your standing leg. Not to lock, but straight. Go straighter. Some of your foot was too far to the wall. Yes! It's a reality check about this pose right now, isn't it? Push your foot back. Now it's tilted a little bit, but that's okay. Your legs are learning new things. 2 straight legs. You've got it. 2 straight legs. Straighten that leg now. Chest up. See your legs, your hips just want to open so bad. Okay, hands to the ground. Bring your foot down. Wiggle out your hips. That's the good one. So let's see, which hip is the one that's killing you right now? The one you stood on. Your left hip, right? They're probably both feeling interesting. You can step your left foot behind your right foot and then walk your hands. See if I got all of that right. This is my right foot. My left foot behind, my hands over to the right. Stretch the outside of your left hip. Ready for the other side? You don't want to be out of balance. Bring your hands back around. Now you've learned a lot about proportions on the other side. You knew that you had, for some of you, jump away from the wall or into the wall. Now lift your other foot up. You stood on your left foot and lifted your right. Now lift your left and stand on your right. Look back at first. Check in with yourself because the thing is about it, you don't really tell yourself the truth all the time about what's actually happening. A lot of times that back foot, I'd say about 99.9% of the time, it's not pointing down, it's pointing to the side. So look back there and ask it to point down and get a sense of what that feels like. Standing leg, make it strong, unlock it, and press your feet back and down. Then arms up, square hips. Yes, that's it, square hips. Soften your standing knee. I know, and that will make your quad muscles kick in a new way. Then push down into the ground with your standing foot and rise up in the crease of your standing hip so it gets lighter. The load on the top of your femur bone just feels lighter. Press your foot back, press your foot back. Yes, chest up, that's it. Okay, hands to the ground, leg down, shake it out. That's a good one, right? Now you can step your right foot around behind your left foot. Walk your hands over to the left and bring stretching into your right hip. My friend in Whistler, when she teaches and she'll do this little stretch, this is not a spot on my body that's particularly tight, so I don't always get how good this can be for some people. But she says to walk your hands over until your hips make the noise and your mouth makes the noise like a cappuccino machine, where you go, okay, come back to the center and bring yourself up to standing. Now we're really ready for the good stuff. You'll need to be a comfortable, so not a really reaching for now, but a comfortable arm width distance from the wall and turn away from the wall. Open your feet pretty wide, keep them parallel to one another, and soften your knees. You can bring your hands to your hips. The way that I would say is like pack your luggage in the trunk. So these become a lot of luggage and your head gets to be a lot of heavy luggage. So keep your luggage packed in the trunk while you're traveling. Bend your knees. For every back bend, it seems counterintuitive, but many people at first feel like a back bend should be down and back. A back bend's most easily achieved from deep legs and then up and out. So deep legs, up and out, and just look for the wall behind you. When you see it linger, then lift your chest and come out and look forward. That's it, that's step one. So you could stay at step one if that's best for you. Next is step two. Soften your knees, lift your chest, travel until you see the wall, and then start to unpack. Bring your hands to prayer position. That might be enough, then come up and out. Up and out. Next step, so that's step two. Down, hands in the luggage, chest up and go back, look for the wall, then hands to the chest in prayer position, then reach and touch, chest up, hands to prayer, come up and out. The challenge is a lot of us want to look where we're going and get our arms up right away, and that makes the whole thing not possible. Now, sky or the floor is the limit. You can go back a little further and come up. The deepest you'd go is the whole way to the floor and back up. So you might go pretty deep and walk your hands down and then lift up out of that. Pretty deep, walk your hands further, lift up out of that. So give yourself 5 tries, and I'll come around and help you. You may just be doing the looking with your hands in the luggage in the trunk, or you may be taking the next stages. Up and back, just graze your fingertips. You'll need deep knees, because this first steps to dropping into a wheel pose and coming up. People do that. Then chest up and out of the pose. If you feel like you get to the wall too easily, step away from it. It should be like a reaching for, and then there's a drop, like there's a moment of faith. 5 times. A moment where you require some faith about the wall actually being close enough. Hands to prayer, bend your knees more, keep going, Michelle, yes. But Gabby, tuck your tail down. The brakes on a back bend is your luggage trunk opening. Drop your tail down. Maybe come away from the wall, try coming away. Yeah, a little bit away. I think you could come away a little too. Okay, go. Good, that's it, walk down the wall, you got it. Down the wall, keep your legs deep, then stop. Keep your head back there. You had it. Go back there. Keep your head back. Trust yourself. And if you fail, I'll hold on. There you go. That's good. That's good. Freeze. Right there. Freeze. Put your head back. Hands in prayer. And now come up like that. So you go way back. Head last. It's like a wave up the front of your spine. Mm-hmm. Your hands, head. your head's just hanging, looking. Last thing up. So you rolled up the front of your spine, now you're rolling up the back of it. Good. Lean against the wall. When you come up out of the fifth one, just lean against the wall. Hips back, ribs back, shoulders back. If you want to close your eyes, you could close your eyes. Just be still. That's it. Strong legs. Yes, you've got it. Now your hands in prayer. Head stays back. Yes, and then wave up the front of your spine. Exactly. Hands last. You don't need your hands. All the way up. Breathe. See where we are with time? Okay. Stand still and breathe. Okay, let's do this. You all have a block. It's turn around, lie down on your back for a Viparita Karana. You can use the block broad under your hips. So you probably like to put the block, I guess, nearby. Turn sideways, scoot your tush all the way into the wall, then onto your back, legs up the wall. Block under your hips. For a lot of us, we actually have the tools to be able to drop back and stand up, but there's a lot of fear involved. Flex your feet. Christy, get your tush in, block or no. You may need to soften your knees. Can you get your sitting bones to sit on the wall? So the two yeses are sitting bones and heels, and then the knees are maybes. That's it. Scoot yourself way in. Wrap your thigh bones. Even use your hands on your thighs. Just wrap them to your front midline so you can see your big toe go up to the ceiling and your baby toe come down toward your face. Roxy, put that block under your pelvis. That'll feel better. So yeah, just bend your knees so your butt, your tush lifts up. Dig your heels in. Yep. And get that under here. And sit right down onto that. There you go. You got it. That's it. Big toes away, baby toes in, but feet together. You can soften the backs of your knees. There. Knee locker. Good, Adam. Good. Wake your feet up, though. Tell them no vacation time right now. Yes. A little more if you can. There. We don't need that part. Now hug that. Just with this bowl, just these parts. There. How are we doing over here? Is this your strap, Gabby? Use these bones right here to hug the strap. Unlock your knees. There, hug it. Good. Is this one yours? Is that yours? Let me grab a strap for her. This bone right about here, that's gonna work. Hug the strap. Yeah, no heels to, oops, hug. It's a tricky little spot. There you go. There, you can soften your knees. Okay, Michelle. Oh, yours even has a little weight on it. It'll be like weightlifting. Just squeeze your navicular bones together, right there. That's it. You can soften your knees. Took the fun out of this pose, didn't it? Really quickly. Okay, how are you doing? These feet are going on vacation over here. Slow, steady, irregular breath. Hug right there. Yes, they do. Adam, sleepy time is happening up here in your feet now. They were working. Okay, enough of that. Push away from the wall. Push back your mat. So just move your head toward the other end of your mat. Just push yourselves away from the wall. Let's do this. Amy just gave me a great idea for a hip opener. I won't do the one I was going to do. I'm going to take her suggestion. Move your tush away from the wall, shins distance. So your butt's underneath of your knees, just shin distance. So you look like a tabletop. Flexed in your ankles. Then you can take frog pose on your back. Open your feet wide. Wide, yep. There you go. Frog pose on your back. So your toes will go out, knees will go out. You'll have to adjust a little bit if you feel too close or too far, but really shins distance will do the job. Frog pose on your back. Fine, Christy, come away from the wall. Away, away. Adam, come away from the wall. You're not quite shin distance yet. There you go. And you'll find some room between their feet. This is Andrea. She's very nice. Say hello to her feet. There you go. Good, good. That's good. Good. There you go. Frog pose. Sometimes better than on the floor, sometimes worse. On the wall. You see there, if you recall doing this pose on the open floor, it has its own challenges on the open floor, similar and different from the challenges here at the wall. You just stay right here in this pose for a few breaths. You can make cactus arms. Press your shoulder blades, the backs of your arms, and the backs of your hands into the mat or the floor. Once that's pressing in, work to melt your back bottom ribs down to the mat. Start to push yourself back away from the wall further. Come out of this pose. All the way out, and then you can hug your knees into your chest. Drop your knees to one side and look to the opposite side. And switch. Shavasana. There's a cool eye towel near the upper right-hand side of your mat. Push yourself away from the wall. You can use the eye towel if you'd like, or leave it there if you'd rather not. Open your feet wide and drop your toes out to the side. Allow your arms to stretch long by your sides and your palms to face up to the ceiling. Make sure your lower back feels free and comfortable. When you've done the arranging that you need to do, take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. Allow the weight of your whole body to settle into the floor. Take a deep, deep breath in. And exhale through your mouth. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze your fingers on your toes. Hug your knees into your chest and roll to your side. Come sitting up and scoot all the way back to the wall. You can sit on a block and move the back of your pelvis to the wall and the back of your arm bones and shoulders to the wall, your bottom back ribs to the wall, and the back of your head. Sit really tall. You can do whatever you need to do with your legs. Create it so that your body is anchored both by the wall and in that it's sitting up with bones stacked on top of bones to support you. That's it. So this is your position where your body is most naturally supporting itself with its bone structure, its skeleton, minimally with muscles, and so you may take a little discovery. Your true north. This is a true north body position. Then inhale, sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands into prayer position and pause. Set an intention for the rest of your day. One more time, let's chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Inhale and exhale through your mouth. Namaste. Thank you for playing. It's fun to have you all. If you have any questions about your practice, anything that's coming up, just let me know. I'm happy to answer. You may notice over the next few weeks, our staff will be wearing these shirts that say, "Love your selfie, no edits." One of our teachers, Julie, who's been really amazing in sharing her both struggle and recovery from many years of her life being an anorexic person, suffering from that, has helped to create a 3-part body image workshop. So the first part is a national event called a Scale Smash. It'll be held at F&M. It's the first event on the back of the shirts. Second, an 8-week body image workshop, and it's a lot like the 40 Days program, meets once a week for an hour. And then finally, one of my teachers, Suzanne Conrad, will be coming to speak at the Ware Center. Those tickets are already on sale, only $15, and not only is she my teacher, but she's a big teacher of the employees of Lululemon, and so many of them will be coming. Tickets are only $15. If you want to come buy them now, it's a great way to share what you love about yoga with people who don't do yoga. She's an amazing speaker. So Ware Center, November 1st. I'm really excited for her to come. Thank you. See you next time.